Okay, welcome. I hope you are all well. We have been going on an interesting journey together, which has been quite the journey. Kind of the point of mindfulness is that experiencing the moment as it is, without changing it, without altering it, and fully expressing it, fully experiencing it, fully being involved in it, which is beautiful. That's 95% of the battle right there. Uh, I'm aware that I'm not able to be fully present in this moment, but I'm aware of that. And in essence, that awareness is the present moment. So it's sort of like I'm trying to do something, whether it's paying attention to my breath but I'm aware that all these other thoughts are coming on and whatnot. And that is mindfulness. So it's not necessarily that, can't meditate or this or that, but you are aware of what's arising in the present moment. And maybe that is not what you're wanting to arise, but it is arising, and being aware of what is arising is the present moment. You're aware of what is arising, and maybe there's a resistance to what is arising in the present moment, but that's arising, right? And you're aware of that. Now, the question I would have for you is, can you be with what is arising for ever so slightly more? And not, okay, let me try to focus on my breath. Okay, I can't focus on my breath. Well, pay attention to what's arising. Where the analogy is that there is remember the old cartoons where there was a mouse hole in the wall and the mouse would come out of the wall? And you are the cat. Then you're outside the hole and you're watching the mouse coming out of the hole. And the mouse coming out of the hole is thoughts that are arising. And you're the cat watching the mouse come out. And every single time you notice a thought, you just say to yourself, one. Nothing else, just you count it. 1, 2. Or it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Could be so fast. But you're not. You sort of you're the cat watching the mouse trying to come out of the hole, and every time the mouse comes out of the hole, you say 1. But you don't chase the mouse. You just let it go. You just let it be. So it's a little bit different than Tom and Jerry, but you can kind of do that same practice. Wow, I'm having a really hard time sort of focusing on my breath. I'd like to focus on this, but this is what is arising for me in this moment, and I'm aware of it. You notice them and see how much you're following them. Oh, there's another worrisome thought. Okay, I'm noticing that. It's you becoming the witness, whether you're watching the TV or you're watching your thoughts, like your thoughts are on the screen of the TV. We all have avenues out, whether it's a TV, radio, drugs, alcohol, whatever it might be. Those are all avenues that we take. Eating, overconsumption. I'm gonna go grab that bag of chips. Stressful eating is definitely out there trying to activate the parasympathetic nervous system by stuffing our stomachs with food. Usually salty, fried, or sweet fruit. So these are all techniques, but it seems to me like you are actually aware of the moment and almost kind of deciding that it's too much. I'm going to go and Watch TV. And with practice, that too much is going to your capacity of holding what you consider to be too much will increase. So the vessel, the the space that you can hold things with will start to increase. And that's part of the practice. That's part of the, even when God, I'm really struggling here, that you just come to the moment and you say, what's arising for me right now? What is arising for me? Wow, look at all these thoughts. It's the constant, it's the top 10 list. It's the Billboard top 20. Right? Gee, that thought keeps on appearing. This is the 100th time it's played in my mind today. That must get the first place medal. What's the second place medal on the Billboard top 20 thought list? It's not trying to get rid of it. Yeah. It's just noticing it. Actually go to it. Allow it. Anytime we try to get rid of something, it's going to push even harder back. It's like, allow it. When we witness something, we're not trying to get rid of it. We're just witnessing it. Okay. So that's a big part of, that resistance, the acceptance, the allowance, all these words, the surrendering to the moment, well, this thought just arose and I'm trying to get rid of it. Good luck with that. I'm serious. It's actually looking at it. Neither trying to get rid of it nor trying to hold on to it. That's interesting. That's an interesting thought. Oh, look at the next one that pops up right after that. If I had it my way, these thoughts would not be popping up. Well, that's an interesting thought too. Look how much I'm thinking about the way that I want it, as opposed to the way that it's just appearing. Okay, let me fully just rest in what is appearing right now. It's challenging, but that's anytime we try to not want a thought, that thought is going to multiply 100-fold. The resistance of it is going to cause it to manifest and permeate. Am I bringing my whole self? Am I bringing my whole self? What is my whole self? Right? Who is my whole self? This is life, right? This is life. We go to the doctor's office. We were asked the thing, how long do you want to, how long do you want to live? If you want to live till then, you got to do that. It's like, gee, never put it never put it in that way before. And the real struggle of a daily practice, the real struggle of understanding the nature of the mind, and how much suffering can actually come from it, but also how much beauty and peace and joy and love is present as well. And so, continuing and finishing off for this week, just looking at, we looked at the 5 invitations from Frank Ostaseski, and really coming back to Ira Bjork's work on, he's a palliative care, worked in an emergency room, on the four things that matter, most. And as he was working closely with terminally ill people or people who were getting treatment for terminally ill, what were the things that mattered most to them? What were the things that they were coming to? And it was usually always like loved ones, usually always had to do with relationship with loved ones, family members, pets, things like that. And at the end of the day, he comes up with the four things, sort of the four things that matter most. And that is, asking for forgiveness. So forgive me, right, for anything that I've hurt. I forgive you. Thank you. And I love you. And how, not only, from his perspective, essentially, from all the research that he did, not only how these were sort of the four concepts or the four categories that people came to as they were dying, but how incorporating these into our daily life today can help really fulfill our daily life and help maximize our experience in daily life. And so, coming back to that also as a focus of thought, of action, being mindful. Is there anybody, that we could call up and say, gee, I haven't told this person that I love them. And if they passed, or if I passed today, would I regret that? And say, gee, I haven't said thank you to this person. Yeah, sure, they weren't the best, dad or mom, but let me shift my perspective a little bit and see all the things that they did do for me, or that they did provide for me, or et cetera, et cetera. And let me just say thank you. Who would you thank? And almost kind of like making a list, right? Is there anybody that I need to forgive? Is there anybody that I should ask for forgiveness from? Is there anybody I say I love you? And is there anybody to say thank you? Make a list of those. Make a list and try it. Start with the one that's easiest. Maybe it's thank you for you. Maybe it's I love you. Maybe it's forgiving somebody. For me, the forgiveness might be more challenging than the I love you and thank you, for instance. So maybe I start with the ones that are more easy, let's say. And even, in today's day and age, I don't know if you guys have done this recently, but, writing a letter and putting it in the mail, even a short little note, a little thank you note, a little, hey, just wanted to really express my gratitude for everything you have done for X, Y, and Z. Thank you. A text message, an email, whatever you feel like is out there. And see, in that practice, right, this is a very sort of conscious practice. See what happens. And maybe saying I love you isn't a part of your family makeup, and maybe you're not used to it. I hear that fairly frequently. My father didn't really say I love you very much, or whatever it might be, and so we're not we're not really used to expressing those sorts of emotions. And if that's true, you recognize that, right? You recognize that and you say, wow, I wasn't brought up in that sort of way. But doesn't mean you can't do it yourself. And coming to this, right, learning from the dying on how to really fulfill our daily lives as we are living. Of, what do people who are dying come back to? What are the core issues that people come back to? And how can we use that as we are living to help maximize our daily lives? And it can be very, 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 very powerful. And this does go back to that previous practice of the last time you're going to see somebody, or the first time you see them in that new light, right? What do you say? I love you. Right? And you bring your full self, your whole self, right? And maybe new emotions come up. And the point of actually doing this practice and having practices like this where you allow your emotions to come up, or can work with the emotions that do come up when they do come up, and learn how to recognize them, name them, allow them to be, not resist them, how then that can be the full expression of the moment. Wow, I never really said thank you in such an earnest way, and now I'm sensing all these emotions coming up for me. Can you be with those emotions? Right? Never said I love you in such a way, connecting truly with another person in that way of relationship. And you might notice sadness, grief, joy, happiness, whatever it might be. But as those emotions come up, then we work with those emotions as they arise in the moment, and we're not resistant to them. And we allow them to flow. So with that, let's go into our practice. So let's find a comfortable posture. A posture you feel relaxed yet alert. Closing your eyes if you feel comfortable closing your eyes. If not, having a soft downward gaze. And taking 2 or 3 deep breaths. And allowing your body to feel fully supported by whatever surface it's on, whether it's a chair, a couch, whether you're sitting, standing, or lying down. And then breathing regularly. And just allowing yourself to witness the present moment as it's arising right now. You may notice a number of thoughts, physical sensations, emotions. And just simply seeing if you can witness them as they arise in this moment, without needing to change them, without resisting them. without wanting them to be any different than as they are arising right now. And just bringing to mind the four things that matter most. Please forgive me. I forgive you. Thank you. And I love you. And for this meditation, let's pick thank you. Is there someone or something in your life, including yourself, that you wish to thank? That maybe you haven't thanked for a while or at all? But yet you feel grateful for what they have done, or you appreciate them in some way, but you haven't expressed your gratitude yet. Almost as if you could speak to them through the ether. This is your moment to say thank you. Imagine as if you were meeting that person or thing, and in your mind's eye you visualize them. And as you visualize them, you express your gratitude with a simple phrase, thank you. And if there is another person or thing that you wish to thank, bringing them into your meditation as well. And thanking them. Just see what you notice inside as you bring on this practice of gratitude. Now, bringing into your imagination or your mind's eye somebody you wish to say, I love you. Maybe it's somebody you say I love you to all the time. Maybe it's someone you've never said, I love you to. But someone that you feel that you truly love them. And as you visualize them in your mind's eye, going up to them and saying, I love you. I love you. I love you. And again, if there's anybody else you wish to bring into your imagination or mind's eye, and letting them know you love them. And if you wish, continuing with the 4 things that matter most, and bringing in your imagination or your mind's eye someone you wish to forgive. And as you approach them, you let them know, I forgive you. I forgive you. And if there's anyone that you wish to ask forgiveness from, again, bringing them into your imagination, into your mind's eye, and say, please forgive me. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. And again, notice what comes up for you in the present moment. As you do this practice, from gratitude to love to forgiveness. And if any of this resonates with you, maybe even taking this practice beyond this meditation, making a phone call, sending a text message, an email, a letter, some form of communication, saying, thank you, I love you, I forgive you, please forgive me. And with that, taking 2 or 3 deep breaths, opening your eyes if your eyes are closed, reorienting yourself to your room and your surroundings, stretching and moving if you feel like you need to stretch, and just taking a moment to reflect on your practice today.